2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Perfect. Yo, welcome to the C3 Panthers Podcast. Tony Dunn here. Free agency part 2. Last night, we had our big show. We talked about the early free agent news coming forward with the Carolina Panthers. And you know what? I've been so busy, I didn't even have time to post the podcast to the podcast places yet. And guess what? The real news hits. Day 2, the Carolina Panthers have signed Haason Reddick, Denzel Perryman, solidifying the defense. There probably is even more. I don't even know this. It's happening. Bam, 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 live. And we're here on Wednesday night. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm here with my homeboys. I got Code Dizzle, Alan CK in the house. How you doing, my man?
You know, just living the dream, my man. Just hearing these the news today. So if the first signing, it was funny. One of my boys messaged me. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking we're about to hear something crazy about Watson. He was like, "We just signed Perryman." I'm like, "Oh, that's good signing," but like it didn't deserve the "oh my gosh." Like I'm sitting here like thinking we sold, and then Haason Reddick came out. I would have thought that was a better "oh my god" moment for me at least.
I'm big on this Perryman joint. I'm big on it. I understand you though.
Yeah, and so, but man, it's nice to see moves being made. I was worried we were going to wait until there were nothing but table scraps left, but man, we got some people, man.
Cody Lashney in the house, producer, co-host, the overall man in the, and I gotta say it's nice to start to see kind of a plan come into place.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of things to speculate about, man, especially with these last 2 defensive signings in our linebacking core with Perryman and Haason Reddick. Those are 2 big names for us, and I think it really kind of opens some questions about what kind of defense Phil Snow is looking to build. I think we've all kind of had our guesses, but, this kind of gives us some breadcrumbs on the kind of defense that we're trying to build. And I think it's pretty exciting, man. I'm pleasantly surprised with what we've done.
The number's 252-228-5098. Call in. We'll take a couple of calls tonight as we go through some of these early moves. You can find the podcast on all your major players. Go ahead and smash a thumbs up, subscribe, tomorrow night I'm going to be doing a show with the Chargers Chat podcast, who have been on the show. They've been great in the past. So we'll get to learn more about the Denzel Perryman pick going forward. I tell you this is that, look, we needed these moves. That's what first off, at least for me, it's the Perryman move was necessary, right? Like, unless you're going to draft a linebacker in the first round this year, you have to fortify that unit. And it was poor with Tahir Whitehead. He was a bum. But I looked up Perryman's stats, and look, he looks good. But he's had some injury problems throughout his career. Not been able to play full seasons. Last year, I think he only played 13 games. He 70-something tackles. And I think this speaks, guys, to how spoiled we have been at linebacker position, where 78 tackles just seems okay. I'm used to my linebackers getting like 110, 105. You know what I'm saying? For the last 20 years, the Carolina Panthers have had linebackers that just pile up tackles. So, yes, I am excited that we're trying to fix this line. We learned a lot last year about that. Despite the pay for linebackers, it's still an important position.
It's a very important position. And the fact that 2 years in a row, we haven't been able to stop the run. Even drafting a run, stopping defensive end, defensive tackle rather, didn't really help it. And then listen, I don't have to bring up Tahir Whitehead, to make everyone angry all over again tonight. We don't even need to redo that, man. Our linebacking core was in peril, and it has been for 2 years. And one of the things that we also said, that many people said, is that we were going to really find out at the start of last season how bad we missed Luke Kuechly. And it's been apparent that he hasn't been on the football team, and that just having Shaq Thompson wasn't a serviceable enough replacement. So, I mean, this is 2 double down moves in your linebacking core. And now all of a sudden you have Shaq Thompson, Haason Reddick, Denzel Perryman with the front four.
And Jermaine Carter Jr. is still on the team.
Right. And we had all kind of been theorizing that he was gone because he had unfollowed the Panthers or something. I don't know, a bunch of drama. But now all of a sudden one of our worst position groups on the football team goes from one of our worst to basically one of our strengths, it feels like, in just a few hours.
Let's start with Perryman. We know that we've dealt with Tahir Whitehead, who struggled. And you don't want to just dump on somebody for being a bum. But boy, we were getting beat like a drum. And there were so many clips of Whitehead just doing ridiculous things. It was like they would snap the ball and he wouldn't even look. It was almost like he closed his eyes and just randomly threw his body in a direction. So we took out Whitehead midway through the season and our defense got better. So we knew this was a need. There's also a question about Shaq Thompson, who restructured, and we know that he's not going to go anywhere. Once you restructure, you're going to be around for a minute.
Yeah.
But the Panthers have not at any point desired for him to be a middle linebacker. Right? They just have it. And Perryman comes in as a middle linebacker, a thumper, right? A tackler, a guy who, despite his injuries, has put up significant, these 70 tackle seasons and different things. To me, this was very important. The Carolina Panthers move on this, I felt like it was intentional. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Last night when we were talking about the picks, we were trying not to poo-poo them. But at the same time, there was very little get excited about. We see Denzel Perryman come, And that's a big deal for us, I think. And I think all of a sudden, right away, it's going to make Shaq Thompson better, hopefully. It's going to take some pressure off the middle of the defensive line. I don't know how you take pressure off the middle of the defensive line, but this was necessary. What else is the alternative, right? The alternative is drafting a linebacker in the first round or some shit like that. By the way, who's the guy from Penn State?
Michael Parsons.
See you later. We ain't got you.
I mean, we haven't had him for forever. Listen, our first round pick is either going to be a quarterback or we're not going to have it because we've traded for a quarterback. And again, Tony, I know you want to continue to play the Debbie Downer on this.
I am.
And even I have said it doesn't seem likely. But, dude, I'll be damned if we don't wake up every day and there's not a brand new story from NBC News Talk or some outlet talking about how hell-bent we are on bringing Deshaun Watson here to Carolina.
Why do you think that is?
It keeps on.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think that David Tepper, like I said before, he's a billionaire. This man is not used to being heard no. You can't tell him no. He has his mind set on Deshaun Watson, and it seems like it's inevitable now that the Houston Texans know that they are not going to start this season with Deshaun Watson as their quarterback. So if David Tepper knows that, Deshaun knows that, now the Texans probably know that too. And this story just keeps on building up traction, man.
Josh Klein from the Riot Report has, and I've been critical of him in a couple of ways, right? Is number one, tell him, CK, what do I hate about what he's doing?
You just hate what he's doing.
No, it's the hashtag. Every player that comes along,
hashtag vet men.
Oh my god, it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
and I don't know if he's trying to tease us, like if he's trying to be sarcastic. I'm so used to Bill Voth and Darren Gant just kind of being dicks to everybody on purpose. So I don't know if he's like really saying it or if it's meant to be sarcastic. But he has been committed, and I guess he has said this is real talk from the beginning.
Yeah.
He has said that these rumors aren't just rumors, that there is something to it, substance. He came out and tweeted this again today. But Cody, I went on Pirate Radio 1250 today, as I do every week. But since the NCAA tournament is on Friday, we moved the segment from Friday to Wednesday. It was important. They were asking me about Deshaun Watson, and I said I have an attitude towards it, which is expect it not to happen, right? And it's almost intentional, because if it doesn't happen, I won't be disappointed. Yep. And if it does happen, I will be more excited than people who hoped that it would happen. I am at the bottom of the roller coaster, right? The roller coaster goes up and down. You know, you go down the drop. I want to be climbing the top, and I can't wait till we wake up and Deshaun Watson is a Panther. It's just why I hear people talking about it now. They're tired of the talk. Like, they're just like, I can't deal with this no more. And then other people are getting hype. But Joe Person is going back. All the reporters are saying this.
That's because it's great news. Like it's great clickbait.
It's a storyline.
Right? It's a storyline. And until we see, the only thing we've heard, we have not heard anything official from either side. We haven't heard, and I said this before with other reports that came out, a long time ago. We have not heard per source the Panthers are most likely to get Deshaun Watson, or the Houston Texans are certainly considering, trading Deshaun Watson. Like, there's nothing that tells us.
They haven't. The Texans have been reported to not be fielding calls. Ian Rappaport came out today and said that they don't even pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, and they don't until they do. Like, at the end of the day, you're either going to.
You're right.
Like, you're either going to start the season and you're going to make Deshaun hold out, and then your whole entire fan base, like, okay, we're talking about how we feel as Panther fans, right? Having to will we, won't we trade for Deshaun? Dude, imagine if you're a Texans fan.
What would you do? What would you say?
Dude, you have to be going through hell right now, knowing that you're more than likely going to trade away your franchise quarterback for either an unproven player and either someone that they're going to draft or a Tua, or it's going to be Tyrod Taylor, man. Like, I couldn't imagine. But if you're the Texans, there comes a point where if you know that Deshaun isn't going to trade or if he's not going to play for you, then you have a certain amount of time to receive value for him. You need to trade him before the draft so that way, other teams have time to, move around that trade and you have time to make the adjustment to go get a player to replace Deshaun. I think something has to happen soon, in my opinion.
Do you think these allegations that have come out are, and now we're up to 3 people
by Tepper?
Well, do you think they help or hurt Deshaun Watson, or do you think it helps and hurts Houston? Like, does it help Deshaun Watson get out of Houston easier, or does it help
inconsequential?
Houston? Do you think it puts a little more pressure on Houston to be like, listen, if we don't, and this comes out and we do an investigation and everything is like Deshaun was having these accusations. These are legitimate accusations, right? These are legitimate concerns. Well, guess what? Nobody's trading for him. You've lost, and you're not going to keep him. You're going to cut him with whatever character, clauses they have in those contracts now, like we did with Greg Hardy and whatnot, commissioner's exempt list, whatever that may look like, and they're going to get nothing out of it. Like, or do they take the risk, keep him, and risk him not even playing, and eventually leaving the organization anyway? Like, I feel like this puts more pressure on Houston to get him out.
I kind of think that a bunch of billionaire owners who are ready for Deshaun they're basically willing to make whatever they have to, push under the rug. I think they'd be willing to do it. By the way, this is a civil court issue now,
exactly.
So this is something that could drag on for more than a year. Like it could be resolved a few years down the road. So,
and to be honest, let's go ahead and be clear about this: is that we heard about Antonio Brown. Right, having somebody over at his house who was like something similar, and dude just came off and jacked off on her back. Like, that's what the report was. Right, just like skeet on her. And then you have Brett Favre that sends D-pics to reporters. You have all of this. Is you're trying to tell, unless this girl has got video evidence this happened, like, this ain't getting nowhere.
This wouldn't have been a civil case if that was the case. This would have been a criminal case.
I don't know why the reason is or what it is. I'm not trying to victim shame people either. And that's not my goal here. But if it's just a you versus me, or the only reason Greg Hardy got in trouble is because there was a call on 911.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you have to have something more than just your word. In our society, and video makes it happen. So if she got the video, the thing's a wrap. But if you ain't got no video or audio, you ain't getting jack.
The video would have been out a long time ago if there was video.
Yeah,
wouldn't have waited.
All right. So let's get back on Denzel Perryman train. Good news is that we needed a middle linebacker. He is a natural middle linebacker. It seems like that's where the Chargers wanted to play him for a while. But the bad news when it comes to him is that he's never played 16 games. He was a second-round pick as the same year that Shaq Thompson was. And the most games he's ever started is 10 or 11. He started 11 games in 2016. He started 10 in 2019. He started 13 in 2020. The most tackles he's put up is 73 in his rookie. 72 has gone down and down and down. So it may this is important, but the concerns, I think he dealt with a knee injury or something, is like, is he healthy and can he be healthy? That's the important part, and availability is important, right?
Do we know how long the Perryman deal is for?
I think someone said 3 years. I saw
that's the
in the Discord chat. In the Discord chat, by the way, the Discord chat's been going nutso. So that's awesome. Been fun. You guys need to check it out. So is that I think he's kind of a heat seeker, like a heat seeking missile. He's kind of like Thomas Davis ish, which is like, I'm about to blow your ass. A good tackler.
Yeah.
Right. Some people have said that the coverage could be questionable, but I don't really think of middle linebackers or like that's where they shine at.
Well, the modern day linebacker really should be able
has to do both.
Yeah, and also Luke Kuechly did it so well for us. I mean, the dude was a nightmare in coverage with the amount of interceptions that he would get. So in a way, we were kind of spoiled to that at the position. Traditionally, you're right, and that it's not. You're not going to ask your linebackers to cover guys.
Kind of like a box safety versus a free safety. Like you take the tackler more than you take the coverage guy in that case.
But it has been stated by Matt Rhule and our coaching staff that we want to move Jeremy Chin back to safety. Whereas so many times last year, we were playing him at linebacker pretty much out of necessity. Just because we had we had no other competent bodies at that position. So I think the fact that
who are our safeties going to be? Chin and Burris?
I'm pretty sure that we're probably in the market to draft a safety. I still think maybe even Richie Grant, who we've talked about a little bit, or Andre Sisco could probably be in consideration with our second round pick if we don't trade a bunch of picks away. I think that's probably a pretty big priority for us, especially knowing that now our linebacker core is pretty much set. Yeah. So it looks like our defensive backfield is the last one that really kind of needs some fine-tuning.
Yeah, and that's an interesting question is what does these free agency moves tell us about the plan going forward? Let's move on to the next one is Haason Reddick. The Panthers, is that Reddick finally had his year. I thought that for some reason this guy had played in Detroit and then got traded, but no, I was wrong. Drafted by the Cardinals in 2017, I believe. But they said that they had been playing the people in the Discord chat had been telling me that they were playing him in his unnatural position, and they moved him, I guess, to like an outside linebacker, like pass rushing linebacker last year. So tell me about Haason Reddick and what you guys think about this acquisition, a 1-year deal. It seems like he's betting on himself.
Yeah.
And there are connections to Matt Rhule and Phil Snow. Your thoughts on this acquisition today?
We wanted him last year. We wanted Reddick last year when Rhule retired. We wanted Reddick because we knew that, and then he went off and had his best year, right? I can't remember was it that he was franchise tagged last year or what? I can't remember what it was. Or they just re-signed him to a 1-year deal, and it was definitely a prove it deal because he had his best year as a linebacker because they put him back in the position that he's best played in.
And speaking of that, Jacob Willis in our chat says, I was pounding the table for Reddick last offseason. The fact that he got 12.5 sacks and we got him for pennies is a steal. And that's something that, it kind of gets lost in the mix. My man had 12.5 sacks last year. That's a crazy.
So what are you going to play him at? You can't play him at defensive end.
So this is why this is so interesting to me. Because, Tony, and I've said this pretty much all last year, Phil Snow was pretty much left to the guys that he had on the roster. I think it was almost impossible to tell what kind of defense we were going to continue to run with based on us having to play such a limited personnel. I remember fans complaining about the fact that we were running so much 3-3-5, which is more of a college-style defense, and fans were really kind of like, well, what the hell is this? I really think now we're going to be a multiple defense. And I think that
even where we switch from 4-3 to 3-4.
Yeah, I really do think so because we have the base personnel to do all of it. I mean, we could put Gross Matos and Burns on the edges in a 4-3, and then have some combination of Derek Brown and maybe even our new signee, Marcus Fox, I believe his name is.
Morgan,
who I admittedly obviously don't know.
I don't know
about.
anything about. I don't even know where
I know nothing about him either. But also knowing that Haason Reddick is a really good pass rusher as a standing up outside linebacker, I think we're going to look for opportunities to put Reddick in positions to pass rush. I mean, dude, imagine Brian Burns and Haason Reddick coming around the edge at the same time, especially on passing downs. Dude, I'm willing to bet you anything that on third downs or on clear passing downs, we're going to let Brian Burns and Haason Reddick just fucking go after him. This symbol to me, it's an act of aggression, and I fucking love it, man.
Here is this is according to ramswire.com or the ramswire.usa.today.com. Morgan Fox was a rotational player for the Rams last season, often subbing in for blockers in obvious passing situations. He played just 39% of the snaps, but still had 27 tackles, 9 QB hits, 6 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss. So I think that kind of lends to your exact point about the aggression thing, is that, well, and let's move to that. So yesterday we saw the Panthers make some, or the day before, make some important moves, necessary, questionable to some of us, right, about how good these guys were, the Cameron Irving and the Pat F line, but necessary. Like, you have to put bodies there so you don't have to, so you can free yourself up in the draft. Today, though, it really seemed an aggressive day for the Carolina Panthers, trying to not complete maybe, but round a defense that was young and neat, but had holes. And I truly believe today was a good day for this Panthers defense, right? As in adding talent to the mix, some experience to the mix, but not getting old, not getting expensive. So I'm very excited about today's moves, and I kind of want you guys just to speak on what you think this suggests about Scott Fitterer's plan.
CK, you want to jump on that one first?
Yeah, I feel like right now you're seeing where he doesn't want to focus in the draft. You know, you're seeing. I'm not saying he doesn't want to go with an offense. I mean, I think you're seeing.
Not forced into it.
Yeah, we're not so focused on linebacker. I think right now the biggest question marks are going to be, I think we're seeing a pattern of what we're going to be doing with the draft: quarterback, tight end, and cornerback. Those are our priorities in the draft, I feel like.
Amen.
And if we can't get any of those checked off before the draft, then those are going to be priority number one. And it goes in that order, in my opinion. You know, I know we need a CB, but you've seen what this league does when you have a good tight end. You can't be a successful team without having a tight end that's going to be able to kind of be a linchpin there to help your offense. Yeah,
I agree with CK. I think that we know the positions that we don't want to be strapped into having to draft. For example, the offensive line. Another defensive lineman. I really do think that, if I would still like to take a really good guard or even a tackle should one fall to us and we have the opportunity to take one in the second or third round. But I really do think that we're trying to move away from the trenches and try and draft those exterior players on offense and defense. Listen, especially if we are able to land a quarterback, and if we're somehow able to keep our second round pick, then, a wide receiver like Terrence Marshall from LSU could even be in the mix. We've already mentioned safety and some guys at cornerback. I really do think it's going to be our exterior weapons that's going to be trying to upgrade during the draft on the offense and the defense. And I really like this, man. I think that Scott Fitterer is aggressive. I like the culture that it comes from up in Seattle. I like how they've been able to build their team. And I mean, look at what they were able to build with the Legion of Boom up there in Seattle. And they put Bobby Ryder right there in the middle. They know the importance of having a smash mouth defense. And I think that that's what we're trying to build back upon right now.
I feel like we used to know that importance too as a team, and somehow we just got old and slow real quick. And that's the problem in the NFL is you can go from being just expecting to lean on your defense from year to year, and then all of a sudden these dudes are old. And we saw that in 2018 with the Carolina Panthers is that it just got old really, really quick. Now, I guess I want to ask this is how old are these guys? Haason Reddick is obviously somewhat young, right? And Denzel Perryman too. Both of these, one is 2015, so they can only, he's probably like 28, I'm guessing, is Perryman or somewhere. Yeah. So if you guys need to look that up. I'm glad that we didn't just with that the defense was a part of the plan.
Yeah.
Is that you looked at that offensive line. We've been so fixated on the quarterback. I just feel like we could have been too focused on that a little bit. Is that like that? Like that's the only one track mind, one track. Maybe that's what us as fans were. Maybe us as fans were a little bit. That's why we were all shitting on the Cameron Irvin signing and shitting on the Pat Elflein signing and wishing we got Joe Thuney or whoever else. I don't even know who we wish we wanted. We'd probably be happy, dissatisfied with anybody. But today's effort to me signals that the Panthers are trying to round the team out. The scary part about today is, does this suggest we're trying to win?
Win, yeah, I think so. This is not. I mean, these signings to me they're kind of.
They are aggressive. You're right.
Yeah,
they're aggressive,
but they're also kind of reminiscent of 2015. Like none of these free agent player names are absolute superstars. Haason Reddick might have some pop to be a potential, fantastic player for us, even though it's a 1-year deal. But especially if he ends up balling out for us this year and becomes a part of a nice little pass rushing tandem with him and Brian Burns, I could see them bringing him back. But all of these signings to me, while they don't have a huge name attached to any one of them, they're all picks that, in my opinion, just make us so much better. From
and necessary. To be honest, I cannot believe how many holes we had. Like when you really start to think of how many holes this team had, and we haven't addressed half of them still.
No, yeah, we're still like we came into this offseason feeling that way as well. I mean, like that's where I think our biggest question marks were around being able to get somebody like a Watson, or is it even worth drafting your quarterback yet because you don't even have a team that's going to be better, that's going to put them in a position to succeed, and I think we've done a little bit to be able to do that. My only thing is you guys forget we did this exact song and dance 2 years ago. We had not obviously not to this level. We felt like we addressed every need we had to where we can go to the draft and honestly get the best player available. Right. We had a fantastic offseason. And to be fair, if you look at, and not to bring up Hurney and try to uptalk him, he had 2 really good off seasons in a row. Outside of the signings for, Christian McCaffrey, if you want to make that, or Shaq Thompson, which was a mid-season play, nonetheless, we did this, and I'm afraid to get excited because we had a decent team with no quarterback, and we saw what happened. We were picking at a high level again, and that's why we're here. We were picking 8, 9.
Don't get excited, CK. Don't worry. You don't need to get excited. I'll tell you why. Is that despite our happiness with the exact players that we picked or didn't pick, is that injuries are still potential.
Yeah.
Right. None of this matters if somebody gets hurt. Like not a bit, And so Perryman could come in and play 5 games and be awesome, but if he misses the next 10, it doesn't matter. So part of this is part plan, part luck. Is that part? In 2015 we were healthy. That's the thing. We were healthy the whole year. Everybody was healthy. And that's luck. It's just luck. So you got to put these players in a position to succeed. But some of it after that, you've already rolled the dice and you're just waiting to see what the number is.
Here's what I want to say real quick so that we can just at least in this conversation. We've had our conversation about Will Grier in the past. Will Grier is I think he got the short end of the stick. I think he still has something that he can show and prove, but his film did not show very good, football. But again, he was put into one of the worst situations, so I think he still deserves a chance. I just don't know that his film warrants him being in a conversation for a starting position.
Not at all. Like that should have been the goal last year. Like forget signing Teddy Bridgewater. You used the 3rd round pick on Will Grier. That should have been the plan.
You're a year late to the party, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
you're a year and a half late to the party because that's exactly what it was. Is nobody's been shit on Will Grier except for the Panthers.
Yeah, and especially Panther fans. But listen, we wasted a 3rd round pick on that man. I mean,
that was my problem.
Are we just saying, like, just at this point in time, do we just all type Deshaun Watson and just speak
it into existence? Yeah,
is that what we're doing?
I just don't believe it's going to happen because if it does happen, then I'm going to be even more even happier. All right, other news to move on to. Other news, free agency news to move on to is F.A. Obata looks like he will not be returning with the team. And that is because Bill Voth put up some snarky ass fucking tweet as usual. And was like, I hope he finds what he's looking for. Like, and then somebody said, why didn't we offer him the restricted free agent tender? And he goes, how do you know we didn't? Well, just tell us, Bill. Just say we did. And he wanted more. 5.5 sacks, F.A. Obata. There are questions going on in the Discord chat about the defensive tackle spot, and they were pointing out that he could play end and tackle. So we have Obata likely moving on. Jermaine Carter Jr. might be back with us. This guy now is Shaq. I tell you this is Shaq Thompson is the biggest cheerleader on the planet. This mug is cheering every acquisition. Like he loves this. He's like, give me Haason Reddick. Give me.
You know why? He played his best football. He played his best football when he had good players around him.
Yep.
He is not the guy, like, he cannot carry a defense, right? And there's no defense on the face of the planet that can be carried by one person. You can have some of the best, you can have the best player in football on any position, and they're still not going to make the difference on whether you win or lose. It's just reality. But, we do know that his best film was on when he was playing with Thomas Davis and Luke.
Hey, CK, do me a favor. It's a certain time. It's time for something to happen.
All right.
Subscriber shame.
49 people watching, 24 likes. Hit the thumbs up, man. We're trying to produce more and more content, going live, talking about free agent signings, man. Listen, we're excited to talk about this stuff. So if you like listening to it, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell. And listen, we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Share this with all your Panther friends and faithful. Let them know what kind of fun we're having, what kind of content we're putting out. We do stuff like this, man. We'll just pop up in your life and talk about some free agent signings, man. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. And that's my subscriber shame. We had to do it.
Shame on you. Shame on you fools once. But if we shame you twice. And to be honest, like, I don't even know how we ain't bigger. I still can't get over this. It just annoys me. Anyway, so y'all help us out. Help us out. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what she said. Okay, so next on the docket, Curtis Samuel on the move, it looks like, going right now to the reports are saying expected to sign with the Washington football team.
Yeah, I think he's
a little surprised there, right? Because we had Scott Turner, but was not bad. Scott Turner wasn't bad, but our whole team was bad. I still like Norv Turner. I like what Norv did with this team. I'm not opposed to it, so I don't got any problems with these guys. But joining Ron Rivera, which is strange because I feel like all they did was try to keep Curtis Samuel off the field for 5 years, but okay. Now he's going to join Fitz Magic and create some magic in Washington. I tell you, watch out for this Washington football team. They are going to win the damn NFC East.
Again.
I mean,
what do you think about this signing? What do you think about Curtis Samuel, baby?
I kind of want someone to make it make sense to me. Like I felt like I heard, but I mean, okay, listen. Other than Ron Rivera, right? Terry McLaurin also went to Ohio State, so that was a teammate of his. But outside of that, like if you're
it's Curtis, magic, baby.
Yeah, but come on, dude. Like apparently he was in the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins were apparently talking about him. Yeah, in the bidding.
But Washington's about to be good, bro. Washington's about to be good. They're going to have their defense, bro. Ron Rivera's about to put up a 2013 Carolina Panthers team that allows 15 points a game. And now you got Fitz Magic, who's going to be slinging the rock around. These guys are winning 10 games next year, bro.
I mean, if you say so.
I bet you this. The Washington football team is better than the Carolina Panthers right now.
I have a question. Was this a legit troll?
What?
Was that a legit troll?
No. Straight up.
Cody, was that a legit troll?
What? Yeah. What Tony trolling
Jones,
us? Yeah. Huh?
Jones, Terrell, the comment you just put up.
Oh, but Cody,
cut your hair.
Cut your hair.
Look at my hair.
Is that a legit troll? Because I mean, look at his profile pic.
Was he bald? What's he got?
Hey man, long hair don't care, man. We're just some hair boys on this podcast, bro. Shit, I would shake my shit if my headset wasn't on. Shit, don't tempt me. I'll catch a charge shaking.
I'm just making sure. I don't want to be him if he was just messing around. Like earlier, he was already in the chat trying to troll earlier. I just figured I'd ask before I heckled him. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that, guys.
Well, there are two coaches technically. I guess it could have been trolling you.
Yeah, cut my hair, 100%.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think that if you're Curtis Samuel, why wouldn't you want to go to the Jets? Like, you know that they're either going to trade or they're going to draft Zach Wilson. So, I mean, shit. It's like I would, especially after not having a quarterback to throw, throw him the football for so long. Hurt Cam Newton, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, who he'll probably have thrown to him again.
Do you think there's I mean, it is interesting, to see the reasoning behind it. I'd be interested to see what he says in his press conference, whenever he does his press conference there, because, if he did have the Jets involved, he would have had an opportunity to be a number one wide receiver for them. Like, who else is their wide receiver up there that would challenge him for a number one slot? Yeah. I mean, so he would have an opportunity there, but I think that he's looking at it from the perspective of he can be more impactful to that because he can be the running back as well, because they don't necessarily have the answers at running back 100%, right? They're not, so I mean, he could double he could be more impactful in the offense there as well.
Chuck should have said Hurney and Ron gonna ruin Samuel again. That's what he should have said.
Again, for a second, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like I almost don't feel bad for him if he goes there and just flounders like he has here in Carolina, dude. Like you decided to go back to Ron and back to Marty and back to a situation with
they're the best team in the NFC East. I hate to tell. I mean, they're the best team in the NFC East. That defense is nothing to fuck with, yo. Ron knows how to win with those teams. Ron knows how to win with those teams, man. I'm telling you, they're going to be good. Don't you worry. They'll be fine.
I don't know, man. I still like our team.
And Fitz Magic loves to chunk it. He's the opposite of Teddy.
If we end up getting our quarterback, I like our team better.
Man, we are sitting around the campfire talking about this Panther free agency news with Blake Bettis. And I tell you guys, we have made some important moves today. Denzel Perryman, we had Haason Reddick, and as well as the hot ass Morgan Fox. I mean, Megan. So I'm just going to see.
Is Morgan hot? Is he sexy?
Megan is.
What about Morgan?
She was. She actually was when I was like 25.
Yeah, what happened to her? I feel like she was the talk of.
She's fine. You know what? She looked real good in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But that was still like 8 years ago.
Dude, I could not watch my childhood be destroyed by that fucking movie, so I passed.
Shush.
I passed.
It was good. It was fun. I liked it. And I'm a big Teenage Mutant. Dude, I signed up, man. I was at the I was like in the real time when the real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, bro. Like I was like in 4th grade or something like that. Just like I got an autographed picture by one of like the foot soldiers or some shit like that at the showing or something. It was crazy, man, and not crazy, but I love that. So no, like, don't hate on that. And I like, Megan Fox. I'm down with her. I ain't got no problem with it. So I hope I'm down with Morgan Fox. So the Panthers now we've through day 2. I feel like we've had a lot of noise all of a sudden today for the Carolina Panthers. What do you guys see going forward? And we can wrap this up a little bit. And that is, where is this taking us to? Obviously, the talk will continue to center around Deshaun Watson until it doesn't. I guess there's going to be a second wave of some free agency signings. And
this wide receiver market is still wide open. Like,
do we need a receiver?
We don't, but I'm just like, you're right. There's going to be a wave of. There is going to be another wave of free agency, and there's still going to be big time signings, and so I could see there still being a play that we could make. Certainly, I think the only thing we have left, because unless we do something crazy with cap, we're not going to be playing at the dance anymore.
Chuck says we need a corner and a tight end.
I think those are draft.
We need both. You don't think we can no tight end in free agency? No Zach Ertz?
No, dude. Even with this contract and the amount of money, the amount of impact you would have, it would just be too much for an older tight end, unless they were trying to give him away for peanuts.
He's only 30, though. He's 30.
Yeah, but
he's also older, but he's not old.
But are we willing to trade away draft picks for the possibility of having you look at a lot of the tight ends that have come out of there's not a lot of tight ends that fail as much as that succeed, right? You can get a nice, decent tight end in the 3rd, 4th round. I think this. I think the draft is going to be a tight end priority, along with cornerback and QB. Offensive line is still a bit of touch and go on that front, so I think we still need to have that a priority. But what we've done today is shore up the things that we don't need any longer in the draft, and that's linebacker and safety. If we're happy, if we end up doing any moves in free agency for a safety.
All right, Cody, what do you think this is pointing to? He left.
He quit.
He's out of here. He quit this show.
He said, I'm done, bro.
I'm just trying to figure out for myself, and what we can end on this is he's coming back. He brought himself back.
My bad. Turns out that was the wrong button. Yeah.
Well, now I've got to pee, so you got to answer that question while I take a leak.
So listen, I think that this kind of sets us up good. One of the things I wanted to mention is that one of my favorite prospects in this draft is Pat Fryermuth. He's the tight end from Penn State, and that's a guy that I think would be available, honestly, in the probably in the 2nd round. I don't see him falling all the way to the 3rd, but that would be a good pickup for us. I don't know, man. I think our free agency is kind of in the books, don't you, CK? I feel like there's, obviously with the one piece that we're all waiting to have fall is Deshaun. But outside of that, I really do feel like now we've kind of set ourselves up to pick the best player available, We're still going to have some depth concerns at a few different positions, but at the end of the day, I like what we've done, man. I think Scott Fitterer has come in and really, blown us away, man. I really do like everything that he's done. He's really undid a lot of the dumb moves that Marty Herney had kind of stuck us with. Restructured Shaq Thompson and McCaffrey. Did a good job building our football team this year. Yeah, I don't think we could have asked for anything better from our first year GM.
Oh yeah, we really. I mean, we talked a little bit about our new defensive lineman, Fox. I don't know if we're going to be focusing on that too much in the draft. I mean, I know we still need a couple. That might be a later part in the draft. That might be some of the depth that we're talking about that we need. So those might be unrestricted free agents or undrafted free agents, things like that. That we focus on the DT, because I think we're pretty set with our starters at this point.
Yeah, we are pretty set with our starters. I'm just, dude. I don't remember the last time. I mean, maybe a few years ago, whenever we signed Gerald McCoy in free agency, like that was kind of a fun free agent year when we thought Cam was going to be able to. Yeah,
that was 2 years ago. Yeah, that was Bruce Irving, Gerald McCoy. We had some signings that year that got us excited, but Paradis was that year. And we were excited about that signing at the time.
Yeah.
It was, there were some things that made us think that offseason was good. And then it ended up not being good.
Yeah. By the way, Patrick Peterson signs a one year, $10 million deal to be a Minnesota Viking.
That's fine. They can take him. I ain't paying $10 million for Patrick Peterson, who's coming off of PED testing and it's just not been the same as he used to be since he was on the juice. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So my thoughts about the signings today. A little interested in, you kind of get so swept up in the talk of offensive linemen. You get so swept up in the talk of just Teddy, need a quarterback. What's going to happen to Curtis Samuel? You almost forgot that we have no defense. Like very few dudes on the defensive side of the ball that we really can truly count on. There are some young studs, to 3 to build around, right? Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, and Derek Brown. These are guys that we really have faith in. I think everybody believes in it. Shaq Thompson's restructuring, right, says he's going to be part of the team and really took a leadership role with his team last year. I will say that is that like Matt Rhule and him, you saw Matt Rhule like giving the mic to him a lot in the post games and stuff in the locker room, panning out the game balls. And I think that actually speaks volumes of what they actually think about Shaq. Yeah. We want Shaq to play better. We all, and I'm sorry that I'm disappointed in Shaq Thompson, but that's what happens when you've been spoiled for the last 20 years with linebacker tandems who put up hundreds and hundreds of tackles every year. And that's even when I looked up the Perryman stats and then like, man, this dude's the most he's ever had is 73 tackles. I feel like Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, John Beeson, Will Witherspoon, Dan Morgan. These dudes did 73 tackles in their sleep. Shit. If you remember the 2003 Super Bowl where the Carolina Panthers go, right, is that the Dan Morgan had 25 tackles in that game. In the game, one game. And Will Witherspoon had like 20.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's hard to get excited about linebackers because I'm like, the bar is so high. But this was a very, very important signing to this team. And we know it's a little bit easier to piecemeal the back end of a defense than it is the front end. So I like that. The Reddick, I thought Reddick was going to be outside of our price range. I think it speaks volumes to the relationships that Matt Rhule and Phil Snow have built with some of these players, right? Another Temple product. So right now I'm looking at these signings right here, 3 on defense today, 2 on offense yesterday, and it really does not look like the Panthers are ready to roll over.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And maybe that just fans the flames of my hopes at quarterback a little bit. I am putting Deshaun Watson out of my mind. I'm more in the trade up mind right now. I just think it's more plausible. Look at this. We popped up another 20 people. You better smash some thumbs up. Hit them, CK.
Subscriber shame.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up and share this damn podcast, folks. We've been doing this. This is our 9th year. Every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. live. And now we be popping up here on a whim. And it's because I got guys like Cody Lashley producing this joint.
Yeah, man. And listen, hit the thumbs up button. It doesn't care. I don't care if you think my polo makes me look gay. Whatever, man. That's all good. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the dislike.
He just wants to suck your dick, bro. That's another way of saying that. 100%. That's another way of saying I want to suck your dick. If you say somebody's shirt makes him look gay, you're hoping they're like, I am.
Yeah, I think he was trying to shoot his shot. And I ain't mad, bro. You do you. But hey, I did want to share this with you guys. So just to show you how Marty Herney is the gift that keeps on giving. Fun fact. Washington coach Ron Rivera tried to trade for wide receiver Curtis Samuel last season, but Panthers general manager Marty Herney refused. Now they are together with Samuel, and they didn't have to give up a draft pick.
Collusion. Collusion. This is collusion.
He's so bad, bro. Dude, I'm so happy that he's gone. I can't believe any of you ever defended this man. I'm so happy that he's out. He was a cancer to our football team. Dude, I was talking in our Discord today how much of a missed opportunity it was that we didn't try and trade Curtis to the Packers last year when they were trying to make a Super Bowl run, and that would have opened up that offense even more than it already was, and we could have gotten maybe a second round pick for him for that kind of player. Dude, I don't know, man. It's just so, and we probably would have lost to Washington because Curtis Samuel wouldn't have been able to make those plays. I don't know, man. It's in the past. It's all said and done, but it's just man, now I'm just so happy that we have a general manager that is smart enough to try and make plans for the future and actually try and, accumulate picks and good players. Man, even the short amount of time that he's been on this team, I'm already so thankful to have him.
Yeah. Well, you better slow your roll until we see this damn Pat Elflein and Cameron Irvin offensive line. I keep seeing more and more crap about how they suck on the internet. And I got a little shame for this guy, John Ellis, who's been he's Panthers, one place Panthers, does all the clips and stuff like that. Seems like a cool dude. How are you going to be up in this Panthers joint and you ain't following the longest running Panthers podcast ever? Right? How you get in the game and not just follow the one that's been doing it since the beginning, homie. So you better get on that follow train and come on the damn show. I won't hold it against you. But I will say this, it don't cost you a damn dime to follow, share, like, and subscribe. What the hell? It don't cost you nothing. I ain't asking for your money. Have I asked anybody to give us money tonight?
No.
And I won't.
You will
because
later.
We want you. No.
Yeah.
Not gonna give. I'm not asking for money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as Gary Vanderchuk says, give, then ask. Give, then ask. But no, I don't want money. I'm here because I like hanging out with my homies talking about this football joint. So I think that.
Am I not allowed to drop my OnlyFans? Never mind.
Is it gay? Is it
gay? Is it gay? Come on. The hell are you taking me for, man?
First subscriber. We got your first subscriber. He's in the chat.
I don't care about that guy. I don't make content for him.
$5? He'll give you $5 a month to show your titties.
No, it's way more than $5, and it's way more than titties. So,
so the last thing I have on this. Oh, that's what I want to mention to you is. When we're talking about, God, what was that? It just slipped my mind. Oh, is you're all happy about Scott Fitterer and what he's doing. I do think there's a point to those moves yesterday with Cameron Irvin and Scott Fitterer. It's they're necessary. Again, I say necessary. But these guys, everybody who puts up, and it was that John Ellis guy put up this, it was something these guys are the 150th ranked offensive line in the last 3 years. They're not good. So that's the scary part. And then you're creeping on this is that maybe I don't know. We need Deshaun Watson, or I guess we're going to be drafting a damn left tackle at 8 because we ain't getting no quarterback at 8, homie.
My inner Clemson fan is just, dude, I tried to deny it for so long, but I want Deshaun on this team, man. Like, look, I never, for those who have been listening, like Cam Newton really brought me to the Panthers and made me love this football team, right? So I didn't really get to watch Cam when he was at Auburn, but I did watch Deshaun his entire time at Clemson. And man, even when he was a freshman, you could tell that the guy just had something special to him, man. The way he throws the football, the way he sees the field, how elusive he is when he runs. Dude, the throws he makes are just incredible, man. I've seen the greatness. I've seen it firsthand. I just want Deshaun on this team, man. It's
not about even his greatness. I tell you this. What did I tell you on your porch in week 1? What did I tell you? You quote it all the time on this show is that we're at the game. We're playing the Rams. This is the year before last. Is that, what did I say?
I asked you on the porch, I'm like, how you feel about this game today? And you said, as long as we have Cam Newton, we have a chance.
Another way of looking at it is, as long as you have a guy at quarterback that you believe can get it done any Sunday under any potential circumstances, you feel like that feeling. But I tell you is that as we, again, spoiled in some ways, we've been spoiled a little bit, is that we talk about these linebackers, that greatness that we've had in Carolina. But even Jake Delhomme sort of gave us that feeling somewhat. But it's those years that we don't have the Cam Newton. It's hard to get up, right? It's like we need a little blue pill to get excited with optimism when you don't have your quarterback.
I don't need a blue pill. Check out my OnlyFans. I'll prove it.
You don't need a blue pill when you have your quarterback.
Yeah.
But when you don't have your quarterback, is that you have to hope in some outside chance that you have an immaculate defense. Like, everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about even when you got an average quarterback, it leaves a pit, like it's just not the same. It's just not the same. So that, I think, is the most appealing part about Deshaun Watson or a draft pick, is reestablishing the feeling of, we can do this. Like, we just, even if this year goes bad, now we just got to figure out how to add. No, we're a ship that's bobbing along the ocean right now without a direction until we get our quarterback.
Yeah. Look, calm water is never made for skilled sailors. That's one of my favorite sayings in the world. Nice. Calm water is never made for skilled sailors. So sometimes, man, you have to batten down the hatches. You got to hoist the sails, and you got to weather the storm, man. And I feel like this past year, that's kind of what we've had to do, man. This was not a very exciting year this past season for Panther fans because of Bridgewater, because Christian McCaffrey leaving the season hurt and being injured. And just, a bunch of things surrounding the way Cam Newton left. This past year was not the most fun that you could have as a Panther fan. But with the free agent signings that we've made, with the hope and the assurance that we at least know the Panthers know that they have to upgrade the quarterback position. So whether that's trading for Deshaun, moving up in the draft to 2 or 3 and try and get Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, or Trey Lance just sitting there at 8. Quarterback is the biggest priority for us right now, and we are going to do whatever it takes to try and upgrade that position. And right now, that's what's giving me the most hope about the Panthers going forward, is that if we upgrade the quarterback position with our talent,
it's on. Then we're ready.
It's on, man. It's on, bro.
But it's not until you don't. That's kind of my point. Right? It doesn't matter how great all these motherfuckers are. If you don't upgrade that position, it ain't on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
And like, so these moves will all be for naught if we get a quarterback that throws 14 touchdowns next year.
Well, 15. Let's be fair.
15. Cam only threw what, 8?
Yeah, but he's still
That's some
accounted
crazy
for
shit. He had 12 running.
Yeah, he's still accounted for more total touchdowns.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
For some touchdowns.
Oh, actually, let's talk about that real quick. Is what happened in New England over the last 2 days has also been pretty wild.
Yeah.
Did we not already talk about this?
Did we talk about it last night?
Yeah,
a little
last
bit.
night.
Okay.
Yep.
Hunter Henry.
So. Yeah.
Like the dual tight end. So they're making moves over there. And I tell you, if anything, they don't seem to be laying over and trying to tank. Tim Tizzy says trade for Njoku. I don't know. Trade. I'm trying. You know what? Is maybe we're slow playing damn OJ Howard coming off an injury.
Is he still out on the market?
I don't. Yeah, I think he is a free agent. I'm not 100% sure about that. I have not, but he had a bad knee injury. I don't know if it's a good idea and a plan to sign guys that are coming off an injury. Like, it's generally not a good thing. We learned that with Matt Khalil.
Yeah.
That he sucks. But he sucked before that.
We did that with Matt Paradis.
Yeah, and it took a whole year.
And we re-signed Thomas Davis.
I don't know if this is true. Paul Mancini says Njoku signed with the Raiders.
Is he a free agent? Or is he possibly was he going to be a trade target?
I don't know. Maybe he was traded last year. OJ Howard is a name to think about.
I would love an OJ Howard type tight end on our team.
I think this is a good comment by Jason Lewis. All the teams downstream of the Panthers are doing exciting things. Buffalo, Washington, and New England. Teams with that we all have these weird ties to. The Bills signed Emmanuel Sanders today too, so that gives them another option. The NFL is fun right now, man. There's so many good players and there's so many emerging football teams. Never been a better time to be a fan of the NFL.
I'm just super excited for the Buffalo Panthers.
Yeah, keep rumbling. But I think, it's an exciting time to be a Panther fan. I love the speculation. Like, the fact that we're even involved in the Deshaun Watson talks just makes everything more fun. It's like the fact that we're even in consideration is, it's cool. And my last little suggestion, or not suggestion, but prediction, is free agency is going to settle down. And there's going to be some pieces that kind of fall into place later on. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up picking up a tight end or something in a few days after the market.
Yeah, no, we got to. We got to, or else then you're asking a rookie to be starting on day one. And we don't have anybody outside of Ian Thomas, right? And we do have him, so he will be on this team, but you still need more around him, particularly when they just didn't use him last year. All right, you guys got anything else? That's all I got.
That's it, man.
All right, this is a special free agent part 2 edition of C3 Panthers podcast. We're live on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. My name's Tony Dunn, a.k.a. The Professor. You can follow me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. Go back. I'm going to go add the Discord link to the show notes later on. If you guys are looking for that, I'm sure there's somebody in the chat room right now who is in that Discord chat, and they might even drop it for you as I speak. Codizzle, CK, congratulations on your voice trailer.
Oh, thanks, man.
I saw that. And number 2 is like, what was it for? I know you're not probably allowed to.
No, that wasn't like a movie trailer or anything. But like my Fiverr account, people can I've got like a $15 gig where somebody can put a script up and I'll record it for them.
What did they ask you? What was the script about?
This one was basically a word for word. It was hard for me. It's basically just redoing the 2004 WrestleMania intro. Like it was word for word for some sort of WWE podcast. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I was happy. I've done 3 of those, and all 3 had 5-star reviews, so I'm pretty happy.
That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and also put this out here. If anybody's listening as a graphic artist, we are looking for free artwork, cheap artwork at the very most. But I want this year's T-shirt. We did not do a T-shirt last year because of the COVID shit, and we didn't do the fantasy league, and we're trying to bring this back. I want a chin check T-shirt. And I feel like it should be a helmet with a chin strap hanging down that says something chin check on it somewhere with a 22. That's what my idea for a T-shirt is. And I've been saying that since the beginning. I told you, I said, chin check. Make sure your strap is fastened, bro, because chin check. Like, maybe that's what it should say is make sure your strap's fastened for this chin check, something like that. But that's what, and you know what? Somebody will probably just steal that idea. Code Diz. I'm calling everybody else crazy. Cody,
Code Dizzle, the one with hair, the one without. It's hard to keep track.
You were writing for Draft Tech when I text you about the show. What's going on there?
Yeah, there'll be a brand new mock draft tomorrow for the Carolina Panthers, 1st and 2nd round picks. That is drafttech.com. Check me out. After free agency period, it's going to go back to longer comments so I can really break down in written form the players that I'm talking about. So not only am I going to be breaking down players on this channel, going live, doing the C3 film room, but also check out my all my comments on drafttech.com. And follow me on Twitter at Cody Lack and hit me up, man.
The what was it? I had one last damn thing to say, and it was about this show. And why does it escape me right at the last moment when I need to say it? God damn it, I can't remember what it was. All right, I guess we're this is I got it. It came to me. Boom, back. So what happens if the Panthers do get Deshaun Watson? And we have to trade away 3 first-round picks. What do we do on the draft show night?
Well,
I think for the next 3 nights, we just have for the next 3 years, we just plan for a giant party.
Yeah. I kind of feel like what we should do is that we still have the draft party. And then
the entire time, nobody's on it, and all we have is a picture of Deshaun Watson. Like
us just smoking cigarettes.
just
or what if every time whoever we traded the pick to, I guess it would be the Texans, and whatever they do with it, for all we know, they could trade it around. But it would be like picking 18th with the Carolina Panthers pick from whatever, and then we just go, the Panthers pick Deshaun Watson, and we were like, yeah, we got our guy. And then we showed Scott Fitterer on the phone. He's like, I got my guy. Like the only.
And then we just replay the press conference from his initial press conference as a Panther.
That's it. And then we just go to bed.
And chat, type Deshaun Watson in the chat and hit enter as we're leaving. So
apparently we're just speaking it into existence.
We're just speaking it into existence. Everybody put Deshaun Watson in the chat. Listen, the first thing I do if we trade for Deshaun is I'm gonna have to call 911 for an erection lasting longer than 4 hours because I hear that's not helpful.
Not me. I just came.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe a little premature. Wait until you found out that we traded.
No, as soon as I hear, I'm like, that was great. I need a cigarette.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you at all.
All right, I don't blame get us out of here. Take us out of here, Cody.
All right. Until then, C3 Panther Nation, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Nice buns, soft, fluffy, and ultra-low net carbs. Discover Hero Bread, the delicious ultra-low net carb bread with incredible taste and texture. Hero Bread has 0 grams of sugar and is under 100 calories per serving. Plus, high in fiber with 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving. Available on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, and at hero.co. That's HERO.co. Delicious, ultra-low net carb Hero Bread buns and tortillas. Soft and fluffy, high in fiber, and with 0 grams of sugar, up to 10 grams of protein, coming in at under 100 calories. Order today at hero.co and use the code AH10 to get 10% off your first purchase. That's AH10 at hero.co. HERO.co. Order from hero.co now and get 10% off your first purchase with promo code AH10. That's 10% off with code AH10. HERO.co.